Could ignorance of the law be seen as a bliss, or does it come with a hefty price tag? The answers to this question we will be bringing your way this morning. A very pleasant morning to you all our viewers, and thank you for joining us on the program now streaming today, brought to you live from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, from the capital city of Abuja. The now streaming show is a show where we challenge perspective and break every stereotype there is to be broken. This morning, we would be looking at an age-long topic that says, should ignorance of the law be an excuse for breaking it? This we would be discussing alongside some other national trending stories that would be coming your way. I am Godwin Ujiri, your anchor for today's show, and I'm not doing this alone. To co-anchor the show with me this morning, it's a very beautiful lady. I would give her the space to do the introduction herself.
Thank you, Godwin. It's really beautiful doing this with you this morning. Viewers, my name is Nnaji, and I'm happy to be on the show today. Don't go anywhere. Sit tight as we bring you trending stories.
All right, thank you so much, Gift. Viewers, remember you can be part of this show by calling in the number showing on your screen and sending in your comments via our various social media platform. If you are just joining us, this is still the ACNN now streaming morning live show. Our focus has been on the question, should ignorance of the law be an excuse for breaking it? And with us to do justice to this is still my co-anchor in person of Ms. Gift Nnaji, and also joining us virtually all the way from Osun State to do justice to all of these issues that we would be raising and the questions we have is no other person but Barrister Christian Onyedikachukwu Okonkwo. He is an associate partner at Salihu Aliyu Chambers, Osogbo, Osun State. Barrister, you are welcome back, and it is your time to do justice to a whole lot of legal issues that we would be raising this morning. And just to start with the very first question, which I believe a whole lot of our viewers are waiting to hear you speak, is what is ignorance and law? Are there any striking differences? Could one can one be said to be ignorant of the law in this state?
There are two different concepts or words.
Okay.
Ignorance means lack of knowledge, or lack of awareness of facts. Even law. When somebody is ignorant, it means it's not in the know. It doesn't have knowledge of this thing. It's not just the law. Somebody can be ignorant of a whole lot of things. But in this case, we are talking about the law. So, ignorance is something different. The law, ignorance, is a problem of rules and regulations that regulate conduct in particular living said locality. So, in this case, ignorance and the law we can merge together to say it means lack of awareness or knowledge of the law, or what the statute says concerning particular issues in a particular area, in this case, Nigeria. And according to the Nigerian Constitution, it also applies to everybody, regardless of whether you are aware of it or not. Ignorance of the law is not defense at all. I think we'll get into that. Go on.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister.
Okay, Barrister, I would like to ask you this question. The question which we are here for today: should ignorance of the law be an excuse for breaking it? I would like to hear your opinion, yes or no, and why you think it should be so, given the context of a law that is currently raising up some concerns among marketers. We have that before you put on any sponsored ad out there, you have to pass it through the advertisement regulatory body of Nigeria. Now, so many persons didn't know of this law, and they are being fined for not going according to the law of passing the checkup, 1 million naira. What can you say about this? Their ignorance now, is it an excuse for breaking the law? Barrister, sir, can you hear me?
Generally, very well, I'm with you.
Go ahead, sir.
Generally, ignorance of the law, I believe, should not be an excuse for breaking the law, not just in Nigeria, but in any other part of the world. Is that if we begin to allow Mr. A, after breaking the law, to plead ignorance as a defense, you know what we have done? We have opened the floodgate. There will be total breakdown of law and order.
But what?
That I'm not aware. I don't know if you understand the reasoning behind it.
Okay.
If we allow anybody to come and say, law, I didn't do this, or I didn't meet up with the regulations of the law, it means that we won't have any law at all, because nobody will agree, nobody will come to court and agree, I knew the law and broke it. That defense will open a floodgate that will hold down law and order in the society. That's the general, like on a general view, ignorance of the law, I believe, should not be an excuse for breaking the law. However, you know, there's something we say in law that to every law there are exceptions.
Yeah.
However, there are some cases, just like the one you cited now, where the law should be tampered with mercy. For instance, in some local settings, where, or in cases where the law is novel, like it's just a new law that was just promulgated, the people have not been too familiarized with it. I believe in such kind of cases, especially when it is not bordering on grievous offenses like murder or theft or armed robbery, if it is not all these grievous offenses, it can be allowed. But you know, at the end of the day, this is boiled down to the discretion of the judge or the magistrate in quotes. But that ignorance of the law should not be an excuse for breaking it, because if we begin to allow it, very soon we'll have a total breakdown of law and order, and everybody will come and say, I was not aware, I don't know there is such a law.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister. It's quite an exciting conversation with you on this particular topic, and so many points have been raised exactly. But we still want to know, because our viewers are eager to get answers to all of these questions. Now, are there some ways our legal system can help to better inform the public about some of these laws and reduce the likelihood of them people citing ignorance to them? Are there specific ways you think that the legal system could help people understand these laws and not claim ignorance in some cases?
Okay, there are, of course, there are. If we really want to make things work, there are. Number one of such is our educational, we have to do some educational reforms. Like, recently we started doing civic education, even down to primary schools. I think maybe a subject like legal literacy, I don't know if that name, but we can find it, that we educate people right from when they were still in primary school to know about some of these basic laws and rules and regulations guiding the society where they live in. Because the essence of the law is to regulate human conduct in every society. The law is a tool for social engineering. So from the earliest opportunity, the individuals in a country or in a state should be exposed to know the law that is operational in where they are living. So I think the first place we'll start is that educational reform. We need to integrate subject courses, even to integrate make the citizens know these laws, their existence, and the expectations of the basic ones, regardless of that's one. Then secondly, I also when we simplify legal language, it will also help in a long way to because most of the people, the reason why they shun from all these things is that the language of the law is not plain to the non-legal illiterate. They don't know. Even when they know, they try to understand it. They can't because even me as a lawyer, I remember during my year one, year two, the first time I came in contact with some law tests and codes and statutes, it was really a problem to even demystify what is written there. And yet it is English language. But the language is so coded in a way that the normal non-legal initiative will not understand it. So I think we should do better and simplify that legal language. The law is meant for the people. It's not meant for lawyers alone. It's meant for the people. And so we should use a more softer or lenient language that the people that were non-legal professionals can understand, especially laws that regulate areas like traffic laws, task obligations. These things concern virtually everybody. So in those kind of cases, we should simplify the legal language. Okay, and then we can also do some public awareness campaigns, and we can also involve in legal clinics and advisory services. This one is mainly to be carried out by the Legal Aid Council. And then I think most of the population, using Nigeria as a case reference, they are on social media. They are on social media. I think the government of the day can leverage on that as well to inform the people of the existence of these laws, the new ones. You can put it up there and let the people, because they are on social media, you can take it to where they are. They can leverage on that and built in the know of these laws when we make it available to them on the media where they are.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Really, the laws should be simplified because most times when I see some bills, I have to go look for a simpler version of it to help me understand better the implications of defaulting.
True. Even with our lawyer, sometimes we have issue demystifying those things.
It's all right. Okay, so do you believe that individuals, we have the moral obligation to familiarize ourselves with the law and what we are expected to follow? Is it an obligation we owe to ourselves and to the country to familiarize ourselves with the ongoing law?
Yes, very well. It is. I would see it more like a moral obligation.
Okay.
A moral obligation. And the reason is because this is our country. Irrespective of the fact that since the leaders are running it in such a way that the average Nigerian is non-interested, we see a whole lot of political apathy. But the country is still ours. It's still our country. And so the laws that are guiding human conduct in our country should bother us, should be something we should look out for to know what is there. And that is why our leaders, especially the National Assembly, that's why they can make some very scrupulous laws and bring out there, because people are not interested, because we are not fulfilling that moral obligation to familiarize ourselves with the laws. If they know, our leaders, if they know that the people are interested and they are going to come to look at the laws they are making, it will help them to be more compassionate and more serious about the laws they are making. They will know that the people they are making those laws for will come for them if they go through these laws and see some things there that are not too wonderful. But the reason why they make anything and bring out is because the general populace, they are not even interested. That's the word. They are not like the average Nigerian is not concerned. Like I'm in Osun State, and Saturday they had the local government elections, which came with a lot of controversies and issues. General apathy, like nobody is concerned. But I believe it shouldn't be like that. If you go to countries where things work, the law, you don't make any law like that. The people weigh in. So I believe we can bring down that culture to Nigeria, and it will start with me, it will start with you. The law is not something that is meant for lawyers, because it affects you whether you like it or not, into karma. And we saw how it affected church, religious bodies. If we don't get ourselves to know what are in those laws and what the law is expecting us to do, I'm telling you, some bad elements that found themselves in the National Assembly may hide under that and make some laws that will be detrimental to us. So because those laws are for us, we should be aware of that. And then also, as a side note, I want to also add that the National Orientation Agency, that is NOAA, has a role to play in this as well. It is their role to educate citizens and individuals to take personal responsibility to avoid legal repercussions. So, personally, we need to take responsibility. And then I'm also throwing it out there for National Orientation Agency to do more in that regard.
All right. Barrister, I hear you loud and clear. You have done justice to a whole lot of the question we have this morning. But just to ask, as a practicing lawyer yourself, have you found yourself in a situation where you are so unsure of a certain law? Have you found yourself in such a situation? Because you spoke about the issue of familiarization. So even as a lawyer who interprets this law, have you found yourself in a situation where there is this law that seems too new to you? So how do you brace up to this challenge when such happens?
Okay. By the way, I'm a very newbie. I've not been into practice for long.
Okay.
Just a year and about. But actually, I've experienced that, though not me in person, but I've seen such kind of cases in court where even the lawyers are too unsure about the law. They will be like, but most times what we do in those cases is that most times it generates arguments in the courtroom between the bar and the bench. So what we do most times in those cases is to take a date and go back, make research, and then we'll come back. I don't know if you get.
I get you very well.
In those kind of situations, when we are not too sure, when one person is saying this is the position of the law, the other person is saying this is what the new position is saying.
Okay.
And we have to just take a date, go back, do comprehensive research on that aspect of the law, and then come back.
All right.
And for me personally, when I witness this kind of thing is in a matrimonial cause, that it was a divorce matter.
Okay.
And one of the parties was living outside the jurisdiction.
All right. Thank you.
Needed relief of the court.
I hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much, Barrister. But you've been able to establish that even lawyers face some of these things. But let's look at the general public now. How can you not justify a newly enacted law that may also not be fully known to these persons? We spoke about, say, traffic regulation and the rest. Take, for instance, in the House of Senate and House of Reps, a new law was enacted or passed into law and may not be known by the general population. How do we deal with this kind of issue when it comes up? Because so many persons are late to these things. And how do you get them to say they are not ignorant of it, despite the fact that such laws have been passed?
Okay. Like I said earlier, in those kind of, the lawmakers, they have something in mind when they were making the law.
Sure.
But then, because of the situation we found ourselves in the country, those laws are not passed down to the people those laws are meant to even regulate, and so they don't know about it. So in that kind of situation, when the people are not genuinely not aware, I personally, though that's my opinion, I'm of the opinion that if it is not a grievous offense, if it is not something that is too grievous, it can be pardoned. It can be pardoned because even the government is complicit in this issue because they just make wonderful laws up there and they don't follow it up to make sure that the people they made the law for know about such laws. So in that kind of situations, I canvass for leniency. But at the end of the day, just a personal opinion. The onus is still lying on the court, in this case, the judge or the magistrate before whom the case is appearing for, to do justice. But I canvass that in that kind of situation, justice be tampered with mercy, especially for first-time offenders, and for people who it has been proven to the court to be genuinely not aware of the law.
All right, Barrister, I hear you, sir. Now, I would like to ask you, because new laws are coming up every day on so many areas, how do you think these issues of new laws will evolve in the future, especially with the increasing complexities? Today you are hearing you're not supposed to park here. Tomorrow you are hearing something more complex and intricate about that same law. Is there any place citizens can go to check for, let's say, the law? Maybe you move to a new location and you say, okay, let me check the law of living in this land. Is there any site, any book that we can all check to be sure that we are in check with the law? Because we are laymen, we are new to it, so we won't go defaulting out of ignorance.
Okay, there is something called the official gazette, and that is accessible to the general populace. So in this case, it's just that what we have in Nigeria is, I don't know how to put it, but most times what operates in Osun State, for instance, moving over to the next state, Ekiti, may not be the law there. Apart from federal laws that regulate the whole country, states and even local governments have the power to enact their own laws with what is obtainable in their own locality as well. So in that kind of situation, especially when somebody moves into that environment newly, that kind of situation, for now, I'm not aware of any platform at that local and state level to put citizens in the know about the new laws or whatever is the new promulgations of the lawmaking bodies in that state or in that local government or in that area. But I would canvass, there is always room for improvement and growth and change.
Yeah.
I would canvass that we go media because majority of the populace, they are on social media. Majority of them. There are still people that may not be on the net, but majority of the population are on social media. I believe in this kind of cases, we can leverage on that. Let these new laws, once they are made, they can have a page, they can have maybe just solely dedicated for this thing. When these new laws are made, they should be put up there. And for instance, something that happened in Anambra State, when the governor made a new law on homeland security, I believe you must have heard about it, that banned a lot of things. One thing the governor did that I like very well, there is nobody in Anambra. In fact, I saw a video this morning where the native doctors and all those things, where they came out in mass to do a protest. Law. I want to also governors or local government chairmen to take a cue from the governor of Anambra State. One thing he did very well is that he publicized that law. There was nothing hidden about it. He publicized it. And how did he do it? He didn't even go the social media. He used the conventional media. All these that use motto and microphone to do announcements, he mobilized them. He put it on radio. He put it on the television. It was everywhere. Nobody in Anambra State will say he does not know that this is the current provision of the law regarding so and so things. And so, in that case, I also canvass that the government of the day should take a cue from Professor Soludo of Anambra State. I'm not talking about the legality or otherwise, or the propriety or otherwise of the law. I'm saying just the fact that he made effort to publicize that law, to make sure that everybody in Anambra State is aware of what the law provides. So we can also use those avenues and channels and make sure that the people know about what the law provides.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Barrister. It's been an exciting time with you. But just before we let you go, what would be your advice as a legal mind to our viewers this morning? Your last word on the show also.
Okay, my advice is that Nigerians should take responsibility for understanding the law. Not just the law. We need to own this country. I keep telling that to young people, especially when I have young people like myself, especially when I have the opportunity to talk with them, especially at the secondary and primary school level. There is so much apathy, so much I don't care attitude, let me use that word, so much it doesn't concern me in the land. And that is because the government of the day has failed and is still failing and has broken the hearts of Nigerians. So anything about the country, nobody is bothered. And it has also degenerated to the point that we don't also take responsibility to know what is our law. So I want to advise our viewers, take responsibility for understanding the law. This is your country, and whatever is happening inside it should concern you. Make an effort to stay informed. At least, even up to primary 6 level, you are literate enough. Seek legal advice when you are not sure. You can ask your friends that are lawyers. You can even Google these things. You can ask AI, you can seek for professional counsel in more serious cases. And it's also essential that they know that they have to be proactive in understanding their rights, their obligations to avoid legal troubles. Because just like we established before, if you are found culpable or breaking a law, ignorance of the law is not an excuse for breaking it. So you should make up to know what is.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Christian Onyedikachukwu Okonkwo, for all of those your exciting analysis on the show today. And to my co-anchor, your last word on the show.
Okay, viewers, you owe it to yourself to make research to know about the law governing where you are, because should you fail to obey the law, you will fall into trouble and you will pay for it despite your ignorance. So make it a point of duty to find out things going on around you, because no one would listen. And also, I hope the National Orientation Agency will also take it upon themselves to put efforts into media houses, social media, to publicize whatever new laws they bring into place, so that citizens can be aware.
All right, thank you so much, my very elated co-anchor in person of Miss
Gift
Nnaji. It's been an insightful time with you on the show. However, viewers, you've heard it from our guest and you've also heard it from our from my co-anchor. And I would say on this note, you take note, because a stitch in time, they say it saves 9. On this note, I want to thank my very esteemed guest in person of Mr. Obinna Odoche, a political analyst who joined us live on the set, and also Barrister Christian Onyedikachukwu Okonkwo, who joined us virtually all the way from Osun State, Osogbo to be precise. And also to my very esteemed viewers, we couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for your comments, thank you for your calls and your contribution to the show. However, this is where we would be drawing the curtain on today's show. Remember, you can get more of our programs via our various social media platforms, and also by staying tuned to this station for more interesting and educating program. So we'll come your way again tomorrow with other interesting topics. Same time, same station. Do have yourselves a great day ahead. I am Godwin Ujiri, and bye.